welcome to the family here on Purple Mafia. I am your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan. Purple Mafia is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps, and I thank each and every one of you once and always for downloading and listening to this show. It is a great pleasure to be back on board with you once again today, as yet another Minnesota Vikings season here on Purple Mafia comes to a conclusion. Now, that's not the conclusion to the Purple Mafia season. That isn't until the end of the Super Bowl. And then we, of course, start up a new season with State of the Vikings. Basically, it's like a new calendar year in the Purple Mafia universe. But the Vikings finished the season with a 16-3 win over the Green Bay Packers in a postseason, quote-unquote, preseason game, or we could call it postmortem wins, which is probably the best way to put this one. The Vikings finished 9-8, winning 5 consecutive games that really, well, were postmortem wins. Thank you very much. So yeah, there's that then. The Vikings finished 9-8, winning 5 games that didn't really matter all that much. But they won 5 games in a row. All right, that'll mean absolutely nothing next year, I guess, other than a harder schedule and a lower draft pick. But at the same time, yeah, I'm not rooting for the team to lose necessarily. A 9-8 is a lot prettier than 4-13 or something, or whatever, 6-11 and da. You do the math with the 17. Out of the 17 possible games, they won 7 games, 7-10. That's what I kind of thought they were going to wind up with, like 7-10, 6-11, with the way things were rounding out. I figured you'd win some of those games, especially with McCarthy showing some positive signs. But the Packer game, obviously, they wanted to get out of there without injuries. A couple guys banged up here and there, but that's kind of the league. Doesn't sound like any catastrophic injuries on either side. Though, yes, the Vikings do start J.J. McCarthy. He does not throw a touchdown pass, but was fairly sharp in the game. He was also kind of like, I don't know, immature again as he lowered his shoulder trying to run for a first down, basically, and taunted the Packer defender and got flagged for a penalty.
He flips the ball away as it was going down.
Yeah, I'm really not sure what the point of that was. That's great. He could have gone out of bounds, but he didn't. He just decided to do that instead. And at one point later in the game, his hands started becoming more and more ginger, him being J.J. McCarthy, and out he went. So, I don't know. When you talk about hairline fractures, that's still a broken bone. It might not be like it's broken, where you can feel stuff moving around, which some of us can relate to once or twice in our lifetimes, hopefully never again, God willing. But, yeah, McCarthy, yeah. J.J. McCarthy did not throw a touchdown pass, 14 of 23, 182 yards, a quarterback rating just under 86. Max Brosmer somehow had a quarterback rating of 96.4, mostly because he was able to complete 7 of 8, but for 57 yards. Max Brosmer, also did have a fumble lost in the game. Thank you very much. So that was disappointing to say the least. They're not even showing it in here, which I don't understand. Yeah, he lost a fumble in the game. It was a strip sack type of deal. That was really disappointing, and that's how that goes. It was terrific. Yeah, well, it was a fumble lost, and it was annoying, and I don't know. That's just kind of it is what it is. It is what it is. You might be saying goodbye to certain players, and of course, not everybody's going to be back. Heck, even Max Brosmer might not be back. McCarthy will be back, be it a starter or a number 2, depending on how the offseason goes with free agency, depending on who the Vikings may go after via trade or free agency or whatever. Heck, via trade, we might have seen McCarthy play his last game with Minnesota, depending on who the trade is for. Something splashy like Joe Burrow or whatever, something along those lines. But that'll be for the off-season shows as we start heading further and further forward. At the end of the day, though, obviously the defense finishing with pretty dazzling numbers, generally speaking. Did Brian Flores coach his last game for the Minnesota Vikings? We hope not, as a defensive coordinator. We saw some very disappointing things out of Kevin O'Connell this year. A lot more stubbornness than we thought. Not so much of the quarterback whisper that we thought. Just like, come on, JJ, you're supposed to already know this. Come on, go. And that's not good. That wasn't good at all. So quarterback whisper might be a little bit overrated. Perhaps Sam Darnold's success might be linked closer to Shanahan instead of O'Connell, possibly. Who knows? Or just general, both of them kind of in, collaboration without really meaning to collaborate. Just kind of wound up that way. Jordan Mason, if we can call him that. It's Jordan Mason. Had 14 rushes, 94 yards. Very strong game. Almost 7 yards a carry. Some technical football there. Ty Chandler, maybe his last game with the Vikings. In fact, a lot of people were surprised he was on the team this year. Got 10 rushes for 23 yards. You do the math there. Less than 2.5 a carry. A 5-yard long. Spectacular. The only guy that got in the end zone rushing-wise or passing-wise was C.J. Ham. Old green eggs and ham. C.J. Ham, or old ham on rye. I think I called him ham on rye more than anything else, because green eggs and ham, that was Sam Mitchell, I guess. That's what Kevin Harlan used to call him. Yes, Kevin Harlan used to be the play-by-play voice of the Timberwolves, for those of you that might be too young to remember that. Yeah, pretty crazy. He was the voice of the Timberwolves. Yeah, he was good. And it sucked when he left. We might be seeing another great Timberwolves announcer leave one of these days for national. Right now he's kind of semi-national and local. That'd be Grady, of course. He's awesome. C.J. Ham, 1 rush, 1 touchdown, a goal line smash into the end zone. Maybe his last game with the Minnesota Vikings, so the Duluth native fullback. Certainly shouldn't be money related. The guy's not that expensive. He's not that expensive. It's like paying a fourth liner in the NHL, or your third or seventh defenseman or whatever in the NHL or something. He's not expensive, so it shouldn't be money related. Sounds like he's even been contemplating retirement, though he's only 32. But in a lot of ways, the fullback position has become, it kind of ebbs and flows. You know how the NFL kind of evolves, and it kind of evolves back and forth. It ebbs and flows more than it evolves. How it's like, okay, it's become a pass-happy league. Now let's go a little bit back towards the running game a little bit, where you have guys like fullbacks and tight ends more involved than just quarterbacks and receivers. Where McCarthy's kind of always been, O'Connell has always kind of been like the passing game. Slightly more focused on the running game in the second half of the season. And funny, the Vikings won 5 games in a row. Unfortunately, again, games that didn't matter really in terms of making the postseason, because it was too little, too late. Too little, too late. I mean, we could call the season too little, too late. We could call it postmortem wins, which is what I've been leaning towards for a couple of weeks now. Bummer. People were really rooting for Max Brosmer to throw his first touchdown pass. Mr. Scott couldn't get in the end zone on his catch. It was kind of one of those screen plays, just not enough. Just couldn't get that 9th yard. He did get the first down, but couldn't get the 9th, 10th yard, whatever, to get in, unfortunately. So, and then not long after that, Brosmer would lose the fumble. So, only 1 incomplete pass. But again, I'm going to continue to say Max Brosmer is a third-string quarterback in the NFL. He is not a backup. And starter, no. Maybe 4 or 5 years from now, who knows? You never know. Like Brad Johnson, he was a third-string quarterback. He just kept hanging in there, and I talked about that last week. He just kept hanging on. And now he's the backup. He beat out Andre Ware. He beat out, when Warren Moon first came here. If you remember Brad Johnson, of course. A lot of you are old enough to remember him, or just the name is, out there. He was the 4th string. He was the 3rd string type of guy. Kind of kept working his way up all the way back to 92 with the Rich Gannon, Sean Salisbury era, up into, when the Vikings brought in Warren Moon and Andre Ware, both former Houston Oilers quarterbacks, the starter and the backup. And Brad Johnson beat Andre Ware pretty easily. Like, Andre Ware was very disappointing. I thought he was going to be a nice backup for us. Ended up being pretty much junk. It was sad to see. Like, he just couldn't play all of a sudden. It was weird. And Brad Johnson was outstanding. He became the number 2. And then Moon kept getting older and kept getting more and more injured. And next thing you know, Brad Johnson is the starting quarterback. So that's what Brosmer's career path is probably hoping for, if he hopes to be a starter. Otherwise, he's going to be like Corey Sauter, the former Viking Gopher quarterback that was pretty much a second or third string quarterback for Detroit most of his career. Never started a game for them. Threw a couple passes and did a few victory formations, and that's about it. For the Detroit Lions and such. Great quarterback for the Gophers, but he was NFL capable, but more in the second or third string role, and that's probably what we're looking at for Brosmer, at least for the foreseeable future. Should the Vikings keep him or not, we'll see what happens. It's not going to kill anybody if he's the third string quarterback, but this team needs to bring in a bona fide, legitimate backup quarterback to come in, be it a Kirk Cousins or whoever. But again, that's more off-season chatter, but it is still okay to prequel a little bit with the off-season chatter. Detroit and Chicago flashing on the screen right now. They eliminated Detroit Lions. Even if they win today, they're still last place because the Vikings did win their 9th game. The Detroit Lions will have a last place schedule next year. So if they're anywhere resembling what they were 2 years, the last 2 years, they might win 15 games again next year because they will be on a last place schedule. Though losing your offensive coordinator didn't help, and there he is on the other sideline in Chicago right now. And the Bears are 11-5, hoping to be 12-5, and trying to get that number 2 seed in the NFC. Pretty wild. Great improvement by the Bears. We'll see what happens. It's between the Bears and the Eagles trying to get that number 2 seed. And, of course, that number 2 team will be hosting the Green Bay Packers next week, because the Packers are absolutely the bottom of the postseason in the NFC. So, defensively, offensively, one final major thing here. Well, it was 2 things. Jalen Naylor, again, nice 26-yard play from McCarthy up the middle, so bringing back a little bit of that chemistry with McCarthy and Naylor. And I just see Naylor kind of getting back in the swing of things after a couple of awful weeks. Awful weeks. And then Justin Jefferson reaching the century mark and the millennial mark. 8 catches, 101 yards. Did not get in the end zone for the 5,000th time, unfortunately. I can imagine the frustration there. What did he finish with, like 4 touchdowns this year? That is insane. Last week I compared it to 2 touchdowns all season. That's what it was. Oh, my God, 2. Again, imagine taking him in the first or second round of the draft this year in your fantasy team. It's like Randy Moss with Trent Walters. Like I brought that up a couple times. Randy Moss with Trent Walters in Oakland. Partially because obviously, what was it, like 4 games in a row with Brosmer as the quarterback. That was pretty rough. Brosmer and, of course, McCarthy's awful games as well before McCarthy started to kind of show signs that, yeah, he probably is a starting quarterback in this league. If the son of a gun can stay healthy, he probably is. But the growing pains, the awful, horrendous growing pains of J.J. McCarthy combined with Max Brosmer's awful, horrendous growing pains as well, and the fact he's not as good as McCarthy either. His career path is going to be slower, if anything, when it comes to Brosmer being a number 2 or number 1 in this league. Number 1 is unlikely. Number 2, we'll see. But Jefferson getting the century mark today, good for him. Targeted 11 times, though. Of course, those were throwaways, a few of them. At least one of them might have been a penalty. It was definitely just a miss. One of them was a horrible pass by McCarthy, but generally speaking, JJ was okay before going out with the broken, the still sore hairline fracture in his hand. It was not re-broken. Eric Wilson, incredible. I think he's an MVP candidate for the season. 9 total tackles for him today. Dallas Turner with 2 sacks in today's game. There's another guy taken in the same draft as J.J. McCarthy, showing extremely encouraging signs. But, of course, teeing off against a, third-string quarterback, it is what it is. He's the Max Brosmer of the Packers. He'll finish with 8 sacks on the year, so great. Dallas Turner becoming more and more of a factor. Blake Cashman with 7 total tackles and a sack. Not much of a sack guy, but he gets a million tackles. It's only 7 today. Wilson led the way. And again, I do believe he's an MVP candidate for the Vikings this season, because somebody has to be. It ain't going to be any of the quarterbacks. Sorry, it's not going to be Justin Jefferson either. It is what it is. Theo Jackson with a corner blitz. Getting another sack today. That would be his 2nd of the season, so good for him. Safety blitz, excuse me. Theo Jackson's a safety, but like secondary guy, whatever. Getting a safety blitz, and good for him. Vikings would finish with 4 sacks. On tune. He was out of tune because he's a third stringer. Ivan Pace Jr. finally getting some more action. Again, good for him, as he'd definitely been falling out of grace as other guys have been moving up and showing signs, like, of course, Wilson becoming, he's just been wonderful this year. And I hope the Vikings are able to keep him around. Unfortunately, he's already in his 30s. Turned 31 years of age in September. So next September, he'll be 32 already. Number 55, Eric Wilson. Wonderful story for the Vikings this season, no doubt about it. Max Brosmer also had a tackle after the fumble loss, so yay, good for him. He had a tackle. He has an NFL tackle. Redmond, not the best season we ever saw. Rogers definitely dropped off after a great start. Also was hobbled a bit. You saw him hopping around after one of those, pile-ups, basically. Like, woo, that kind of hurts. Van Ginkel with 5 tackles today. 2 pass deflections as well, getting in the passing lane, knocking the ball away. Van Ginkel should be an MVP candidate, but how can he get it this year because he missed time? So it is what it is. It'll be a conversation. Will Reichert's going to be on the list. Spoiler alert, Wilson, Cashman, Reichert are all going to be on the list. And I'll need a 4th candidate after that because it's usually 4 people going into the Twitter polls and such. So that's a foreshadowing for the MVP of the year. And don't be surprised if there's a non-player on the disappointment list this year, and I will not let the cat out of the bag for that one. Reichert made all 3 of his kicks. None of them were all that particularly long. The longest of the day was 43. Ryan Wright should probably be a candidate for MVP too, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I'm just kidding. 2 of them in the 20. Great job. No touchbacks. 49 average on 4 punts. He's a wonderful punter. So really appreciate what he was able to bring to the table. But huge shout-outs and huge send-offs to Harrison Smith, of course, who I would say, yes, he's a Hall of Famer, not because of homerism. In fact, I've been about as objective about it as possible. For the longest time, I kept thinking, how so? Like, are you really sure he's Hall of Fame? Like, Ring of Honor, it's like a you just blink your eye. Like, yes, he's Ring of Honor. Like, 10 seconds after his retirement, Harrison Smith should get in the Vikings Hall of Fame and Ring of Honor and all that. But NFL/football, Pro Football Hall of Fame, I say yes. I've definitely warmed to the idea the past, by kind of analyzing things, hearing things, putting numbers together and seeing the uniqueness of Harrison Smith and what he's been able to accomplish throughout his career. Harrison Smith should get in the Hall of Fame. Probably not first ballot, though. Like, I didn't think Joe Mauer would get in first ballot, but then again, for the Twins, but he sure did. Kevin Williams is a finalist this year, so good for him. Former Vikings linebacker. That'll be defensive tackle, 3 technique, basically is what he was. Amazing career. He was a guy a lot of us were not that excited about when the Vikings took him. Remember that infamous draft when Tyson and Mike Tyson Co. were late getting the pick in, and the Cowboys were able to get Sims, I believe. That's who a lot of us wanted. And then it's like, okay, fine, Kevin Williams. And that's kind of who supposedly they wanted anyway, because there was steam about Kevin Williams the whole time. And a lot of us kind of saw Kevin Williams as like, is he as good as Sims guy? I'm more excited about Sims. He could be a pass rushing defensive end. And then almost right away, Williams, it's like, oh yeah, he's absolutely wonderful. Like an absolutely, an absolute steal of a player. Even getting, even being a high pick in the draft, it's an absolutely more than worthy, top 5 pick in the draft. Wonderful player. Hell of a career, and he's a finalist, and I hope he gets in. He'll be the second number 93 to get in the Hall of Fame. The first, of course, was John Randall. Yep, who is a surefire Hall of Famer. Like, just what an amazing player he truly was. And when we heard him get in, it was the coolest thing ever. It's like, oh yeah, like John Randall in the Hall of Fame. That's a given. Jared Allen getting in recently last year, so that was awesome. Now hopefully Kevin Williams can get in. Great story there. So we'll see what happens with Harrison Smith getting in eventually. It's going to be a while. I don't think he's going to get in right away, but he'll get in. I think he gets in maybe second or third. It might not even be that long, but depending on who he may be up against in the votes and such. So we'll see, because he can only get so many people in, so to speak, just because it is what it is. So it might take a couple tries, but he'll get in. C.J. Ham, who I think should probably be a Ring of Honor guy too, at least for fullback. He just went a wonderful, wonderful fullback, and he's going to be greatly missed if indeed he hangs it up and or the Vikings move on anyway. Like maybe it's a mutual parting of ways. Like, yeah, we're probably not bringing you back, and yeah, I'm going to retire anyway. So that might be what happens for the Duluth native. Great story. Obviously not drafted. Duluth, Minnesota, like I said, July 22nd, 1993. I remember July 1993. I turned 14 years of age. man, that was one of my, yeah, I remember liking that summer quite a bit, though it was a little depressing. The North Stars had just left, moved to Dallas, but my best friend at the time got me a very nice fitted North Stars hat. Unfortunately, it was stars, like black with the stars, not the classic N star, but that's what they looked like back then. And it was a wonderful hat. It was a really nice birthday present. I remember being on the boat with that hat, and it was really fun. And so that kind of brings me back to my birthday. I'm July 29th, so just like a week after that, C.J. Ham was just a week old. Think about that. That's so it's kind of cool looking back at that year. Jeez, it's like you feel old when you think about that kind of thing. I was already a 14-year-old on the boat with my friend, my parents, my brother, and all that, and wearing this really cool North Star hat that would no longer fit today, unfortunately. And C.J. Ham was a newborn, unbelievable. Was just a week old. It's crazy to think. But up in Duluth, which is a wonderful place. I mean, how do you not like Duluth? Even if it's kind of like old, beat up looking in some places, who cares? It's Duluth, man. Duluth rocks. CJ, so huge shout out to Duluth in case people listening are from Duluth. Great to see CJ Ham get in the end zone, and if that's it, I'm gonna miss you, CJ. You know, I've been a fan forever, and I'm not kidding. You know, like when I heard about him getting cut or let go, it's like, no, man, keep him. And they've kept him and kept him and kept him, and he's stuck around, and it's been wonderful. So great job, CJ. Huge shout out. With that said, I think that's about it, other than you hope McCarthy's hand is... I don't see that being any type of, like, it's going to mess up his career or anything. It was just kind of silly, I think. Was it more fun to see him play instead of Brosmer at first? Yeah. There was more going on, and it certainly helped Justin Jefferson clinch that 1,000-yard receiving mark. First receiver in NFL history to get, was he the third, actually? Randy Moss and what's his name on still playing, of course, veteran player with Tampa, two Hall of Famers, no doubt about it. It'll be 3 with Justin Jefferson to get 1,000 yards in their first 6 seasons. So amazing job there. We'll be talking about Tampa later, as they probably are going to be in the playoffs, right? They're kind of waiting on other teams to kind of finish things up. Either way, you're probably going to get an 8. Yeah, you're going to get an 8-9 team in the playoffs with a division championship. The Packers have to go on the road, even though they only won 9 games anyway. It's nothing that exciting. Evans, that's who it was. Evans on the Packers, great career. Obviously, a wonderful career for many years. Barely got to 1,000 yards last year. Didn't come close this year, but Tampa's just kind of a mess. But great career by Evans, to say the least. Yeah, look at that. 1,000. He had 1,000 every year until this year. Holy crap, man. One of those years he had 1,001 in 2007, so he made it by the skin of his proverbial teeth in that case. But, wow, 1,000 yards every year until this year. And now he's like this old wily veteran. He missed a ton of time as well. But good job, Mike Evans. Hell of a career, and he's probably a Hall of Famer, isn't he? He's got a Super Bowl title to go along with these great numbers. So 13,000 receiving yards, 108 touchdowns. Yeah, I think so. That sounds like a Hall of Famer, doesn't it? Yeah, 866 catches. 0 fumbles and 0 fumbles lost. That's underrated, because receivers fumble the ball too. Wow, if this stat is correct, and I'm looking at this, a big old juicy goose egg in the fumble and fumble loss department. That is incredible, Evans. What way to hang on to the ball. What a tough guy. That's tough. And very consistent, obviously, year in and year out. Some years were better than others, like 2020, great. What the heck? He only had 106 yards that year? That was with Brady when they won the Super Bowl. That's crazy. Didn't they win the Super Bowl that year? 13 touchdowns, though. Weird. Well, great career regardless. Wow. Cool. So kind of reflecting on certain players. Maybe he's on his way out, too. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he might be on his way out. Isn't he like 35 or something? So he's a bit older as well. Let me see. Actually, he might be C.J. Ham's age, actually. Sorry for the delays here. Just kind of just look at some of these guys and reflect on the amazing careers they've had. Oh, yeah, he's actually a month younger than C.J. Crazy. He's only 32? Weird. He'll be 33 next year, and so would C.J. Maybe both of them will be back next year, but who knows? Evans probably will, just because. I don't think he's done yet, whereas, C.J. probably not, unfortunately. So it is what it is. The Fran Tarkington Award winner for today's episode. Oh, boy. Let's go with Dallas Turner. A couple of sacks, great game, 6 total tackles. Honorable mention to Eric Wilson, and of course Mr. Jefferson finally getting in a 100-yard game again, poor guy. But in connecting with McCarthy and Brosmer respectively, great overall job though. McCarthy, solid game, honestly, solid game, but not great, but solid, that type of thing. Dallas Turner though, 2 sacks, that's great. So encouraging signs from Dallas Turner, encouraging signs from McCarthy, looking like a starting quarterback. Hopefully the son of a gun can stay healthy though. The Christian Ponder Memorial for this episode, does it really need to be? I don't know. It's kind of like Brosmer for losing the fumble when he had a chance to throw a touchdown pass. He's right there at the goal line. I don't want to pick on the guy, but man, that was frustrating. Like, really, you're going to turn the ball over right around the goal line there in the red zone? That's lame sauce. So that was extremely disappointing, to say the least. Ty Chandler as well. What the heck? I mean, Ty Chandler, 10 rushes, only 23 lousy yards. That's garbage. So I'll probably go in that direction. Maybe they'll share it. Chandler and Brosmer, disappointing performances, to say the least. No, but I mean, Brosmer was fine throwing the ball and such. I mean, not great, but I mean, the fumble lost is what kind of puts him there. Chandler, just overall performance, it's unfortunate. Doesn't look like much to really talk about for his future. Well, we'll see. He'll probably wind up on another team, though, but doubtful he'll be back here. With that, we'll take a quick break and then look around the NFL and preview the postseason. Denver Broncos up 10-0 right now on the Chargers, and they have the ball. So the number 1 seed looks like it could reside in the Mile High City. Yuck. And we are back here on Purple Mafia, segment number 2. Time to kind of look around the league a bit and, of course, playoff prediction stuff. It's unofficial. Baltimore and Pittsburgh still flashing on the screen, but whoever it is going to end up being the 4th seed, if I remember correctly. They would be the 4th seed in the AFC. So it's like either way, odds are they're probably not going to, I don't think either one of these teams is going to advance after the first round. The wild card weekend, and boy, wild card weekend is fun. These days there's super wild card weekend because it's usually a Monday night game, which can be a pain in the butt waiting for the next show in that sense, because you want to review all the games and so you can officially preview the next week. Division round rocks. That's my official favorite week. So there are no call-ins that I could see so far. So just at the moment, Baltimore leading 10-3. I think a lot of people have a pretty good feeling they're going to win this game, but we'll see. It is in Pittsburgh, and things can change quickly. This potentially could be Aaron Rodgers' last game ever, so we'll have to wait and see how that all turns out. So we'll see. Of course, the winner makes the playoffs. The loser potentially potentially will possibly the coach might get fired at the end of the season. So we'll see. It's one of those kind of things. I had Baltimore actually winning the AFC at the beginning of the season, losing to the 49ers in the Super Bowl. I'm not so sure either one of those teams is going to win their conference. Otherwise, Tampa ultimately did beat the Carolina Panthers, but did not win the division. Carolina would have clinched and it would have been all over had they lost, or had they won yesterday, but Tampa did win 16-14. Don't need to go too into detail. I'm not going to go over every score too much. Bryce Young, pretty decent, though. It'll be a nice playoff debut for him, though probably a one and done. 2 touchdowns and an interception. Not too bad of a game. What's his name? Mayfield's been struggling with shoulder injuries and such. 16 of 22 doesn't look too bad, but of course there's always the grape jelly stain with the interception, though Bryce Young did have one of those as well. But ultimately the Panthers end up winning the division. Another division championship type of game. The 49ers hosting the Seahawks. It's like, come on, 49ers. You can take care of business at home, can't you? No, doggone it. Seattle's defense was too good, and my God, they're a chippy team. I don't like the Seahawks very much. They kind of got on my nerves when the Vikings played them earlier in the season, and they've been getting on my nerves for a while. I don't like the Seahawks that much. And best of luck to Sam Darnold in the postseason. We'll see how he goes. Seattle Seahawks not only win the division, but have the #1 record in the entire NFC. So this time Sam Darnold would have home field throughout the entire NFC. Last year, there was a chance of that happening, and the Vikings lost that game. So, but it also, and we were on the road in both cases. Vikings lost. Vikings could have had home field advantage throughout the entire NFC. We'll see, though. Both teams ended up losing in the first round anyway. Or first round in terms of Detroit's case. They waited for the second round and all that, but they lost right away to the Washington Commanders, who are obviously, it's what a difference a season makes. Holy moly, man. Darnold was 20 of 26, definitely not as out of control and awful as he was against the Detroit Lions last year, but wasn't anything all that special. No interceptions, no touchdowns, that type of thing. At least he hung on to the ball. He did fumble, but he didn't lose the fumble. Charbonnet got in the end zone, and Walker the third. That's what I thought, Kenneth Walker. I wanted to make sure I'm thinking of the same person. Yeah, Kenneth Walker the third. My God, Seattle's running game just went right through San Francisco, and Seattle's defense beat the crap out of the 49ers as well. Not a good day for the San Francisco 49ers. They were wearing those weird black and gold uniforms. Kind of cool, black, red, and gold uniforms. Not bad. It's just, it's interesting, I guess, and I like how it had that kind of, the 49ers, the 1800s, 1840s. So Purdy threw an interception, wasn't all that good. He had a crappy version. It was like a crappy McCarthy game, basically. 64.9 quarterback rating, 19 of 27. Ugly game for him. McCaffrey couldn't do a whole lot much against this Seattle defense. 8 carries, 23 yards. They were playing from behind, and nothing was really working. The passing game wasn't working. The running game wasn't working. It was an awful day for the Niners, and Seattle will be the #1 seed in the NFC. San Francisco drops down to the 6th seed, unfortunately for them, so that's not good at all. Other games we can go over really, really fast just for the hell of it. Possible future Vikings #2 quarterback, or #1 if they want to lose their jobs, as Declan was saying on the Score North vent line. I agree. If Kirk Cousins is the starter next year, everybody's going to get fired because it's just Kirk Cousins shouldn't be starting for this team. 18 of 32, game, just whatever. The Falcons do beat the Saints. The Saints finally lose a game for the first time in a while. Certainly not the worst team in the league, though. Show looks like a wonderful... it looks like he's going to be a pretty good quarterback. Might be Rookie of the Year for the Saints, which is really surprising. Offensive Rookie of the Year, possibly, which sounds funny to even consider that. But yeah, he might be. He actually had a hell of a year. Not a great day for him necessarily, but they win, or they lose. I mean, they dropped to 6-11. The Saints, Falcons 8-9, but do not make the postseason. None of the tiebreakers add up for them making it. Formality, Cleveland. Myles Garrett got the most sacks, basically. Yeah, he broke the record for sacks, so good for him, I guess. Just kind of like Jared Allen with the 2011 Vikings, like a meaningless garbage football team. 3-13 team. Oh, but he got the sack record. It's like, who bleeping cares at the end of the day? So that's the bad part about it. It kind of takes the fun out of the whole thing. Great season for Myles Garrett. That would be 23 sacks in a season. He had a full sack, 22 coming in. So congratulations to Myles Garrett. He is a future Hall of Famer, but on a sappy and crappy 5-12 Browns team. Shadur Sanders completed 50% of his passes, and that's about all you need to know there. Future Vikings quarterback Joe Burrow, 3 touchdowns and interception, and they still lose the game. I don't understand, but whatever. Quarterback rating of 104.2. He did have an interception along the way. We'll see if Burrow ends up being the starting quarterback of the Vikes in some kind of crazy offseason, or somebody else. Who knows? Who knows where he might wind up? Who knows? New York Giants wallop the Dallas Cowboys, which is funny, 34-17. Don't need to go over that too much, but that gives the Las Vegas Raiders the #1 pick in the draft. Congratulations, Las Vegas. See if you can do something right. But unfortunately for them, this is not a quarterback heavy draft, and they need a quarterback. I mean, they need a quarterback in Las Vegas. I don't know what else to tell you. Giants have the quarterback of the future, we think. Cowboys, well, they have the quarterback of the present. There's nothing you can do about that when you're paying him $60 million a year. 7 of 11 for Dak Prescott and Mr. Milton. The third 7 of 13. Cowboys play like poop. The Giants played like Giants for once. Dart had a great game. 22 of 32, 2 touchdowns. No interceptions. He did not have a fumble loss. He fumbled but did not lose it. 110.2 quarterback rating. Great day for Jackson Dart. Hopefully an encouragement going into the offseason, but that kind of momentum doesn't always seem to exist all the time. Jacksonville Jaguars did indeed win their 13th game, like I predicted 2 weeks ago, because you looked at the upcoming games were just weak, man. Tennessee Titans 3-14, weak. Number 1 pick in the draft, Cam Ward last year, good for him. God bless him. He threw 3 passes, completed all 3 of them, and then Allen came in and finished the game. Well, who knows? Jaguars kicking butt. Trevor Lawrence 3 touchdowns, 255 yards. Man, great day for him. And the Jaguars will be hosting a playoff game, and we'll see what happens, just how good they could be. 13-4 season. Great year for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Great season for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tons of respect going their direction. Wow. Very happy for them because, I mean, that's a franchise that's struggled for quite a while. Another team that just hasn't lost in, like, eternity. Like, what have they won, 9 games in a row or something? I believe it is 9 in a row. They were 3-5, and they finished 12-5. That'd be the Houston Texans. And then a team that ended up losing their last 7, the Indianapolis Colts, who looked absolutely spectacular. 8-2 at one point. Now they finished 8-9. Oof. So 2 teams that went completely opposite directions in the offseason, during the regular season. What the hell am I talking about? Leonard was the quarterback for the Colts. Ray Leonard? Sugar Ray Leonard? No, I don't know. But good for him. Riley Leonard. But yay, good for Riley Leonard. Couple touchdowns and interception. As for the Texans, Stroud, 1 touchdown. You know, it's that defense more than anything for Houston, but it's kind of a combination of things. Great overall day for the great finish to the season for the Houston Texans, 38-30, a wild year. They make the playoffs with a bang, and we'll see if they actually continue their win streak into the postseason. Buffalo Bills go into the postseason with a little bit of a, what do they call that? Tune-up, I guess. 35-8 over the New York Jets, who finished 3-14. They'll be picking super high in the draft, which is per usual. Kind of like what the Timberwolves were for the longest time. That's pretty much what the Jets are in that, in-between era of the Wolves. Even when they had Andrew Wiggins even for a while, they were still putrid and losing a lot of games. Buffalo Bills 35-8. Holy cow. They'll be in the postseason, but not hosting anything, unfortunately for them. Trubisky started in the game, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Mitch Trubisky, former Bear, 22 of 29. Great game for him. And Davis on the ground, 151 frickin' yards. Holy crap. Keep moving. NFC Roundup. Well, the Vikings obviously played the Packers. It doesn't matter. Detroit did not make the playoffs. They did finish 9-8, but the Vikings swept the Lions in the season. They will finish in 4th. The Bears do not win their 12th game this season. Interesting. They do not win their 12th game this season. 11-6 or 11-6 on the year, but somehow they wind up with the number 2 seed, don't they? I don't even get it, but we'll come back to that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they still get it because the Eagles lost. The Eagles are just kind of mediocre. I guess, hopefully for their sake, it's all about the postseason. Otherwise, they're just not as good this year. Chiefs certainly aren't as good this year either. 19-16. The Lions do win their final game of the season. They finally won a game again, the poor guys. They will be playing on the last place schedule. It's got to be about the first time in NFL history that every single team finished with a winning record in the same division. Impressive, to say the least. Vikings and Lions finish with winning records. Of course, the Vikings' winning record has asterisks all over them because it should. Give me a break. Bears, kind of mediocre game today. They looked kind of out of sync. They eventually got back into it, but it wasn't enough. The Lions ended up winning the game, and we'll move on from that for now. Denver frickin' Broncos have the frickin' number one frickin' seed in the AFC, and I'm not happy about it. Seattle and Denver, exactly what I didn't want. Of course it happened. Welcome to the NFL. Finally got my way last year in the Super Bowl, at least, where it's like all the other times, it's like, oh, great, the frickin' Chiefs won. Oh, the Rams won. Just what you didn't want. Come on. Stupid Rams. So frustrating. Like you wanted, Cincinnati and San Francisco, and you end up with Kansas City and the Eagles, and of course the Chiefs beat the Eagles, and it's like, God, remember that? It was so frustrating. 49ers and Chiefs, of course, the stupid Chiefs win. It's just damn frustrating. And then finally the Eagles just absolutely obliterate the Chiefs, and yeah, they felt the aftershocks of that ass kicking. Hopefully Denver gets their ass kicked somewhere along the way, and Seattle, same thing, but otherwise we might get exactly the Super Bowl none of us want, Seattle and Denver. Ugh, I hope not. Two really good defenses with, pretty good offenses as well. Boring as hell to watch, though. I don't want to see the Broncos or the Seattle Seahawks in any Super Bowl. That'd be awful. Chargers finished 11-6, kind of mediocre, kind of like the Bears. Goodioker. I think I invented a new word. They're like goodioker. They're good, but like a mediocre good. 11-6 record. I certainly wouldn't be dancing on I certainly wouldn't be dancing in the streets over an 11-6 record, even if it was the Vikings this year. It'd be like, unless they, of course, won every game after losing their sixth or something, then it'd be okay. That'd be kind of fun. The Chiefs lost again. Man, they couldn't even beat the Raiders. The Raiders still clinched the number one draft pick with a 3-14 record. Every single team won 3 or more games this year. Chiefs dropped to 6-11. Will it be the infamous Travis Kelce's last game ever? I hope so. We'll see. I hope so. Good riddance. Yeah, God bless him, though. Bless his heart. Seemed like a nice guy for the first time in a long time. It feels like he's been humbled a bit. It's about damn time, because it's been about 5 years of arrogance, and I can't be the only person that was tired of that nonsense. So, yeah, it's nice to see him humbled a bit, and, well, bless his heart. He had 3 catches, 12 yards. 3 catches, 12 yards, and potentially his last game, him being Travis Kelce. The Las Vegas Raiders, Aiden O'Connell is not the answer. He's just not. 10 completions, 22 attempts. Yuck. I mean, yeah, but we'll see what their future is in Oaktown. Or I keep calling them Oaktown. It's Las Vegas. I'm so used to the Oakland Raiders. Heck, I used to be used to the Los Angeles Raiders. Remember that? Los Angeles Rams, 12-5. They did beat the Cardinals 37-20. Good for them. Cardinals were 3-14 this year. I can't remember the Cardinals' last win. I mean, that must have been really early in the year, because I remember they were kind of okay. Again, Brissett, I keep bringing that name up, and that's who I want to be the Vikings' number 2 next year. If you want to go with a solid backup that can throw the football. It might even be a nice mentor to J.J. McCarthy. That's if you want to go that direction. That's my guy. If the Vikings can possibly get Jacoby Brissett into Minnesota, that's my guy. That's my choice. He's Teddy Bridgewater's age. Not a super young guy, but still can throw the football, and I like him. Am I alone? Anybody out there? Anybody else like Jacoby Brissett? Anyone? Come on, somebody raise your hand. Matthew Stafford with 4 touchdowns. Great day. Back in the day, wasn't this like an important game? Rams and Cardinals, but certainly not this year. Of course, this could be the St. Louis Bowl, where neither team plays in St. Louis anymore. Arizona was the real St. Louis Cardinals, and then the Rams were a temporary St. Louis team for about 20 years. They borrowed the Rams for about 20 years and got a Super Bowl out of it, too. Because the Cardinals sure as bleep didn't bring a Super Bowl to the city of San Luis. San Luis. We're almost done here, then we can look at the playoff preview. A couple of classics here. New England hosting the Miami Dolphins. This was the Miami Dolphins were kind of the bane of Tom Brady's existence. They were the weird divisional team that kept screwing up the Patriots, a couple games a year or something, or like at least one game a year. Sometimes screwed up their home field advantage, or as Dan Barrero would call it for fun, home ice advantage. But whatever. Ewers was meh at best. Baltimore needs a quarterback. They're 7-10 going into the offseason. Patriots do end up winning their 14th game, 38-10. Absolutely crushed, but unfortunately do not. I repeat, do not get the number 1 seed because the stupid Broncos had the stupid tiebreaker. The highest completion percentage in the NFL is Drake May, and 14 of 18, unbelievable season. I do believe the Patriots win a Super Bowl with Drake May at quarterback. I do, maybe more than one. He might be the next Brady. We'll see. He just might. He might be the next Brady, at least for the organization's sake, maybe not for like history's sake, because the next Brady would be like the next best quarterback in the league. Otherwise, he might, yeah, at least for the Patriots in general, they are back to being a spectacular franchise, and we'll see what happens. They got the right coach, the right quarterback. They got good defense, good offense. It's just a well-oiled machine, and frankly, I hope they beat the Broncos. I might be in the minority in that, but guess what? Just because you're in the minority doesn't mean you're wrong. Did I say that? Yeah, that'll piss off all the certain group of people that always say, you're in the minority. Yeah, that doesn't mean you're wrong, though, dumbass. It really doesn't. Mr. Johnson of the Commanders, Josh Johnson, to be exact, number 14, trying to be Brad Johnson out there. No, not really. 14 of 22, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, mediocre day for the Commanders, but they beat the Eagles somehow. Another team that just kind of played around, screwed around, and of course did not go out there with their main quarterback. And, well, they lost. And they lost. McKee was the quarterback for the Eagles, and they were playing from behind the whole way, which is annoying for them, I'm sure. 21 of 40, 1 touchdown, 1 interception for him. And, I don't know, the Eagles basically sat most of their starters, and, well, yeah, I don't know. Well, at least they didn't get hurt, I guess. 11-6 for the Eagles. Chicago Bears will be your number 2 seed in the NFC. The NFC is 1,000% set. Black Monday is early, at least for one guy. Mr. Raheem Morris will no longer be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons despite an 8-9 record. Yeah, I know, it's a great record, right? No, expectations were very high. Their defense is great, and they made the Vikings look like dog crap. The defense and running game in Atlanta was pretty good against us, but they had a very disappointing season, to say the least. I think Raheem Morris is not a bad coach, but it is what it is. It's just the whole thing wasn't good. The general manager, Terry Footnut, was not meant to be the GM of the Falcons, apparently. They blew it, man. I mean, what are you doing? So I had a feeling he was going to get let go in a year or two, and he did. General manager, Terry Fontenot. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was his name. Terry Fontenot is kaput. The Falcons fire the GM and the coach, and they kind of had to, especially in the. I mean, do I need to even go over the mistakes that the Falcons made? I mean, it's just, I don't know. You draft like the oldest of all the high draft prospects for the quarterback position. You draft the oldest guy right after signing the most expensive free agent quarterback in Kirk Cousins, who ended up failing as the starting quarterback of the Falcons. And then you draft an injury-prone older quarterback who was already 24 years of age. Great arm, spectacular arm. I mean, the guy can throw the football, Mr. Michael Penix, but you aren't going to win a Super Bowl with Michael Penix. I just don't think it's going to happen. And he shouldn't be the general manager right now after that. That was a mistake. Oops. That was a mistake. So, the playoff picture. Playoff bracket. I'm going to pull up the bracket. I can go back and forth. The Denver Broncos, the Seattle Seahawks got their number 1 stupid seed. Yeah, we know. So the winner of Pittsburgh-Baltimore, they're showing Pittsburgh right now in this thing, but that's just general. They are hosting the game, but it's probably going to be Baltimore. I think they're playing better. Though I guess the Steelers are driving and they're trying to score a touchdown here on the final play of the first half. Totally understand why they would not kick a field goal here. They could tie the game. They're right at the 1-yard line. I mean, yeah, let's see what happens here. But the winner will host the Houston Texans, who are red hot, as the 4th seed. They'd be the 4th seed in the AFC, hosting the Houston Texans, who haven't lost a game since, it was still warm outside in Minnesota. It's a long time ago. And he didn't make it. Oh, my Lord. I thought he was going to make it, the running back of the Steelers there. Oh, my. The blocking just wasn't there. It was kind of like a. It was like a roll. I don't know what you call it. Kind of going out to the. Yeah, it was a pitch. It was a pitch to the left, and the blocking just wasn't there. It just wasn't there. There were 3 Ravens to 1 Steeler, and to 1 Steeler blocker who just wasn't there basically. And man, I think it's going to be Baltimore. That was a big loss right there. That was an L. That's a 7-point turnaround right there on that play. That hurts. Hurts. Patriots will be, so we'll go with the AFC here. Denver Broncos have the number 1 seed. Boo, I don't like it. I hate it. Okay, so, and I will be, I don't know. I don't think either team beats the Houston Texans, put it that way. They're going to host, maybe they do. I don't know. Who knows? But then they'd have to probably go to New England the next round. Good luck with that. Of course, watch Buffalo upset Jacksonville. That's going to be a good one. I can imagine that being a Saturday afternoon, like spectacular. I think that one's going to be Saturday. That's just me guessing. But anyhow, the New England Patriots, number 2 seed, will be hosting the number 7 Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, put it this way, if the Chargers somehow upset the Patriots, I'd be pretty surprised. I think the Chargers are done in the first round. I mean, I'm happy for them that they made the playoffs again. But, see, like last year was kind of like a year where they had a good shot of advancing, and they just played like crap. Remember that? Weren't they like the 5th seed last year? It's nothing spectacular, but they just crapped the bed. Or were they even the 4th seed? Yeah, the Buffalo Bills won that game. Yay, Myles Garrett set a new sack record for a 6-11 team. Anyone? Any applause? Yeah, that's about how I feel. It's like, who gives a... who gives a bleep? It's all about stats and money with some of these guys. Who gives a bleep? Like, seriously. Patriots will defeat the Los Angeles Chargers in the first round. Jacksonville Buffalo is a really, 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 really tough one. Both teams, I mean, one of those teams, my apologies, a sneezing fit basically came on me there. Holy moly. Thank God for the quote-unquote dump button, if we can call it that. That we'll call it the sideways equal button, right? Wink, wink. Seriously, either one of those teams could go to the Super Bowl. I'm not even kidding. Like the Jaguars or Buffalo Bills could go to the Super Bowl. They're that good, especially Buffalo, just because I feel bad for the Buffalo Bills and their fans so many times over. They should be like number 2, number 1 seed. But what are they? They're 6th. Gosh. The stupid frickin' Kansas City Chiefs are finally out of the way. That was the one team that was always just there. Anything you can do, I can do better. It was just the arrogance and the obnoxious. Oh, I hate the Chiefs so much. So, like, seeing them fall on their face this year is like, yes! It's the coolest thing ever. Except for the injury to Mahomes. That's not good. But seeing them fall on their face, it's like about bleeping time. With all the outright arrogance of that franchise and that just the players, the team, everything. Got sick of them. Maybe not the owner, but whatever. We'll get off of that. Buffalo Bills finally, might have an open door, but they're the 6th seed. It's kind of like with the New York Knicks, like say when Jordan, retired, especially the second time around, and then it was just too late. The Knicks were old. They got to the finals, and then the frickin' Spurs were like way better, and they just, steamrolled them in the NBA finals. The Knicks got to the NBA finals in '99, remember? It's like, yeah, we got to the finals as the 8th seed and got smushed. It was kind of sad. Where do we go with this game? This is hard. This is a hard one. This one just reeks of a Saturday afternoon, like classic. I can imagine, I'm just guessing because I don't think they're showing the schedule yet. I don't think it's been created yet, and I wish it had. I can imagine both of the 3 and 6 games being Saturdays. Though I may be totally wrong. But I think those would be appropriate. Like Philadelphia, San Francisco, that's a good one, man. That could be, yeah. That was a conference final, wasn't it? At least once. Carolina hosting the Rams. That's just... See, the Rams, it's like, how do you like it, LA Rams? As good as the Vikings were last year, we had to go on the frickin' road. It's like, depressing, man. We have to go on the road? Really? This is dumb. Why do we have to go on the road? And then, of course, the Rams were like the bane of our existence, and they destroyed us. It was so depressing. I'm having a hell of a time with this Jacksonville-Buffalo game. Okay, gun to my head. Buffalo's going to beat the Jaguars, which would be really sad. 13-4 season, but Buffalo is just that we're advancing, and we're going to make it hard on everybody in our way. And they're going to make it. They're going to give the Patriots probably the ride of their life in this divisional round. I think that's going to be that magical game that comes every year. Winner goes to the Super Bowl and possibly wins it. I think that's the one. But yes, I do. That's my executive decision here for Buffalo, New England, second round. But we'll get off of that first. Baltimore, I'm going to say Baltimore, Houston, even though it could still be Pittsburgh. But Houston's going to win. Houston's going to win and head to Denver. Okay, that's going to be wrong. I'm an idiot. Buffalo would have to go to Denver. Okay, I see it. I see this crystal ball right now. Buffalo's going to upset Denver in the divisional round. Buffalo's going to upset Denver. New England will beat either Pittsburgh, Baltimore, or Houston to get to the AFC title. New England, Buffalo, AFC Championship game. Ooh, I'm smiling ear to ear if that happens. And I am picking it right now. Wow, that'll be freaking good. That'll be a football game. You want to watch football. You want to watch a great AFC Championship game. You are praying for that. New England and Buffalo, AFC Championship. You want to see the Denver Broncos, knocked right out of there by those Buffalo Bills. Go get them, Buffalo. Seriously, if you can get past Jacksonville, and I think Buffalo is much more likely to beat the Denver Broncos than the Jacksonville Jaguars. I do. I think Buffalo's more likely to do it. Go get them, Buffalo Bills. Beat those Broncos. And then the Patriots and Buffalo in the AFC title game. That is some good football. You know what they say? Them's good football. Okay, I'm just kidding. You know what they say in the South, right? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, the Seattle Sea garbage. Seattle Kraken, doggone it. I'd much rather see them. I don't like the Seahawks. I like it when they wear the retro uniforms, though. That's one thing I like. And the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos, Seattle Seahawks, and what's the other one? Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Wear your retro uniforms and make them permanent. Make them permanent. Please make them permanent. Just do it. Go back to your retros and make them permanent, and that's all you need to know. Look at the Bears. Do the Bears still wear the same uniforms they wore 30, 40 years ago? Yes. Packers? Yes. Niners, thank God, yes, they went back to it. Eagles, go back to your retros, too. They wore them today, but they played like crap. Go back to your LA Rams, go back to your retros. I'm telling you, everybody go back to your retros. Houston Texans, work out something with the Tennessee Titans in the NFL and become the Oilers. Please, just become the Houston Oilers again. Pittsburgh Steelers, change the uniforms. Not going to happen in a million years, but they will wear weird ones from ancient history, I suppose, like the 30s or something every now and then. Buffalo, pretty much everything they wear looks pretty cool. Jaguars, everything they wear is, well, it's the Jaguars. It's a cool color combination. So I don't really have any complaints about the Jaguars uniforms. Chargers, they kind of wear like a retro modernish look. Like they went back to kind of the sky blue look from way back, but it's like a modernized version of it. That's pretty much what they did. So when they wear the darker stuff, which is like the, San Diego Superchargers, like probably like 80s up to, whenever. 80s up to like the LaDainian Tomlinson era, around there. They had the dark navy blue look. I don't know. I kind of do like the sky blue look more. And I just wish they were San Diego. San Diego Superchargers. I can still hear Dylan Richardson singing that, just in case he's listening, and I hope your Bears can get the job done. I really do. I do. So let me emphasize. Okay, let me get back to the other games here first in the NFC. Carolina Panthers, Los Angeles Rams. The Rams win. The Rams win. Yep, Rams win that one. Like, duh. 49ers and Philly, that's going to be a tough one. I hated the way the Niners played against Seattle. That was garbage. It was so disappointing. Philadelphia, like 1 minute they look like world champions, which they were last year. And the next minute they look like, they're just kind of like, yeah, we won last year. This year we're just kind of like along for the ride. 49ers beat the Philadelphia Eagles. 49ers beat the Eagles, which would mean the winner would, we'll get to the Bears-Packers game in a second. You can probably guess where I'm leaning there. It's kind of obvious, isn't it? So the Rams would be the 5th seed. That means the 49ers would have to go to Seattle again. Ugh. I don't like that. I really don't. I really don't like that at all. I don't like the way I don't like the way the Rams. I don't like the way the 49ers hosted Seattle. Just imagine going to Seattle. Oh man, I think there's one team in this whole conference that can beat the Seattle Seahawks right now, and they also wear blue. It's probably not gonna be the Bears. Damn it! And I would love it to be the Bears. I would love it, love it, love it. Bears host the Green Bay Packers. Anyone have a song for me to play here? Yep. Yeah. How I wish they could beat the Seahawks, but I don't know. Okay, you get the point. But yes, go Bears. Yes, go Bears over the Packers. Yes. Yes, the Bears will beat the Packers. They will beat the Packers by multiple, probably by 10 points or more. Put it that way. Multiple scores. They are the number 2 seed. Congratulations, though. A crappy record of 11-6. That doesn't mean a crappy record for a number 2 seed anyway. Like, think about the other number 2 seed, 14-3. So it's kind of annoying. It's annoying the Vikings couldn't be the number 2 seed last year with a 14-3 freaking record. We had to go on the road against a Rams team that was red hot and had our number. Oh, they did. As well, the Bears will beat the Packers, which would mean they would host the Rams in the next round. They'd host the Rams in the next round, unless the Eagles beat the Niners, which is still possible, and then they'd have to go to Seattle. So if both the Bears and the Eagles win, Eagles go to Seattle, Bears would host the. No, that'd be bad either way. Yeah, either team is going to be a nightmare. So what am I talking about? Yeah, either team's going to be a nightmare. Though if the Niners win, they go to Seattle. So basically, either way, pretty much here. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. But yeah, pretty much every scenario I have, if Philadelphia or San Francisco winds up in Seattle, because I don't see the Packers winning, put it that way, and then I put it this way, I don't see the Rams losing to Carolina, and I don't see the Packers beating the Bears. So it's kind of like, it's kind of like the way it is. So more than likely it's Bears-Rams, and then the winner of San Francisco-Philadelphia heading to Seattle, which is the way it's going to be most likely. So, which means Seattle's probably going to the NFC title game, unfortunately. I do think it's Rams and Seahawks in the NFC Championship, and I didn't pick the AFC title yet. Patriots will win the AFC title game, which is unfortunate for the Bills, but I think the Patriots beat the Bills. I mean, it'll be an epic game. It'll be back and forth. It'll be kind of like the Chiefs and Bills, with the Patriots kind of being like, I guess, in a way, like the new Chiefs in a way, where they'll just kind of find a way to get the job done in the end and go to the Super Bowl, where they will, it could be the Seahawks or the Rams, unfortunately. Well, that's who it's probably going to be. It's going to be one of those two. If anybody can beat the Seahawks, it's the Rams or the Patriots, frankly. The Rams or the Patriots will end Seattle's run one way or another. And but right now, I think the New England Patriots win the Super Bowl for their 7th Super Bowl championship and their first in this new era. I think the Patriots would beat the Seahawks or the Rams in the Super Bowl, or the Bears, or da-da-da-da-da. As long as they can get past the Denver Broncos or someone else does it for them, like the Buffalo Bills, I think, which I do think will happen. It'll be an epic back-and-forth battle. And put it this way, if the Buffalo Bills get to the Super Bowl, they win it. I think the AFC part of me wins the Super Bowl this year, one way or another. Buffalo Bills or the New England Patriots get to the Super Bowl, the winner of that, if either one of those teams gets to the Super Bowl, they win it. If it's Seattle versus like the Jaguars or something, I probably would pick Seattle in that one, but I'd be rooting my head off for the Jaguars because I don't want Seattle to win. Seattle and Denver, if that's your Super Bowl, I guess I'm rooting for Seattle because I can't cheer for Sean Payton and go Sam Darnold, I guess. It'll be kind of like that, but it'd be like, ugh, I don't like this team at all. But good luck to Darnold, that kind of thing. I don't know. Like, that team is so good that it might not. I mean, as long as Darnold doesn't lose his mind out there and make terrible mistakes, they're going to be fine. And they probably, there's a pretty good chance they at least get to the NFC title game, if not the Super Bowl. Right now, I kind of have a feeling they're going to the Super Bowl. I think they'd even beat the Rams right now. Will they, though? I don't know. I'm kind of going back and forth on that one. I'm having a hell of a time with Rams and Seahawks right now. But for me, that feels like it's a collision course between those two teams in the NFC title game. Like, if the Packers somehow upset the Bears, I guess it could happen, but it's just the vibe is not good in Green Bay. Like, if Micah Parsons was healthy, the Packers are probably the best team in the NFC North. But he wasn't healthy. He tore his ACL. It is what it is. Like, nobody's cheering for that. It's just the way it happened. Green Bay might have been able to be a threat to beat the Seattle Seahawks and the Rams with a healthy Parsons, but that just wasn't meant to be. I'm having such a hard time. Gun to my head, Seahawks. Patriots win in a close game, but the Seahawks or Patriots are a little better. They'll have two very good defenses with a better quarterback in New England, and the Patriots win a Super Bowl real early in Drake May's career, and he's going to get multiple rings. I think he's probably the next best quarterback in the league. I think he is, because obviously he's a lot younger than Mahomes, so he'll be playing after Mahomes is done. So one way or another, if Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league 5-6 years from now, which I don't think he will be, by the way. I don't. I think Drake May is the next guy, though, one way or another. 2 to 3 years from now, Mahomes probably still could be, but I think May ultimately will take over as the best quarterback in the league, and I wish the Vikings could have got him in the draft that year, because they wanted him, and they would have been right. And the Patriots were right to say, thanks but no thanks, click. With the third pick in the NFL draft, 2024 NFL draft, the New England Patriots select Drake May. And they did the right thing. So, good job, New England Patriots. They took the right quarterback. They hired the right coach, and to me, they're the Super Bowl champions, at least as of right now. So we'll see what happens going into the wild card weekend. I'm looking forward to it, big time. Houston, by the way, would get beat by the Patriots. Yes, like I was saying, Houston would get beat by the Patriots. Their winning streak would end in the divisional round, because I don't think Baltimore or Pittsburgh beats Houston, but sure, that could happen, I guess. But, they're not going any further. They're not going to the conference title game, so Patriots will be there, and they will win the whole enchilada at the end of the day. I think that's the best team in the league. Denver's got a great defense, but Drake May or Bo Nix, I'll take Drake May every single frickin' time. So that's just kind of how I stand with that. We'll take a quick break, come back for fan interaction. And we are back for fan interaction, final segment for the 9-8 Vikings. The postmortem wins. 9-8. Postmortem wins. Sounds like the title of the episode. It probably is. If I changed it, then okay, I guess I changed it because I'm weird sometimes. Fan interaction, maybe that would help. Facebook. Let's go there first. Facebook. I wonder if they'll ever let me put Purple Mafia Show up there or anything similar. I forget what it used to be able to get that, or if that's just, you just can't do that anymore. Well, I'm not meta verified, and I don't want to pay for anything like that. Or am I meta apparently? Yeah, they probably want like $700 a day for it. I'm just kidding. Let's just get to the Facebook page. I don't know why I clicked on this. Yeah, I just don't think I'm going to do that right now. Purple Mafia should be meta verified, though. It should be, or whatever. It should. It's been around for eons and eons. couple comments, which I really appreciate. Facebook page, let's go. I love this. Look at this big Mike Dale one. I love it. Mike Dale, I love you. Oh, I love when you do this. This is great. It really is. Oh, I'm almost tempted to save it for last. Should I? Should I save it for last, or would I be an idiot and forget? Let's read it now, so I don't forget. Mike Dale coming out of the state of New York, not the city. Well, 9-8 for the final tally for the Purple. Not quite as horrible and hopeless as our first half of the season performance indicated. Slightly more optimistic for next year as I was back in October. Yeah, at least you have a potential quarterback of the future if the son of a gun can stay healthy versus. Oh boy! I mean, like if he's Cade McNown, we'll be lucky. That's how bad it looked for a while there. That's what I was comparing it to a little bit. Like the guy couldn't complete a pass, and it was just like holy crap. Because Cade McNown couldn't complete a pass. I remember that. It was nasty. Very highly touted guy for the Bears years ago. A high draft pick. Nice pass completion by A-Raj there. So Steelers still have a shot at this thing. Oh yeah, they went down the field like it was nothing, cutting through them for like tinfoil. But yeah, they blew a freaking goal. They should have went right up the middle. Yet they tried to kind of get cute and do one of those pitches. Yeah. They did a pitch to the left, and it just didn't work out. The blocks just weren't there. But anyhow, to Mike Dale, I apologize. That said, sigh. The end of an era for my favorite current modern era Vikings player, Harrison the Hitman Smith. Yep. A definite future Vikings Ring of Honor member. Absolutely no doubt. Yep. And possible candidate for Canton. Fingers crossed. I would agree with both of those. I do think he makes it to the Hall of Fame, just not right away, like I was saying earlier. But yes, Ring of Honor, yes, that's a shoo-in. That was a little better blocking right there, and of course just a little more extra space for the guy to make some moves there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Chance to tie up the game. Pardon me. Gosh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mike. Yes, fingers crossed for Hitman going to Canton. Also, the end of an era for another reliable, true local Viking stalwart, Cortez Thaddeus Ham Jr., yep, who actually got a celebratory send-off touchdown in his last game, as any great fullback deserves. I agree. Two players in Vikings folklore who's above and beyond loyalty and dedication has determined that they both only bled purple. Yeah, they only played for the Vikings. Yep. It'll be a rare and somber occasion to see the opening day roster for the 2026 Minnesota Vikings season to not see those two illustrious players on it. A moment of silence and gratitude for those immense players. Agree. Yep, and I closed my eyes just now for that few seconds there. Yes, I agree. Gonna miss them. I really am. 9-8, not terrible despite missing out in the playoffs. However, as much as J.J. McCarthy has progressed throughout the season, seemingly making gains in both maturity and effectiveness, except for that one stupid play early, getting penalized for taunting, his lack of durability and inability to stay on the field is a major concern. I agree. It'll be interesting on who the Vikings sign as a reliable backup quarterback in the offseason, as I feel Max Brosmer is absolutely not it. Yep. To me, Brosmer is number 3. He's Brett Ripien. He's Brett Ripien wearing the maroon and gold, basically, and the purple and gold now. Someone getting carted off there. First and goal with less than a yard, and they make the play exactly that the Steelers should have probably done at the end of the half. A smash up the middle, or a dive, not a smash. It's a touchdown, but there's a flag. That's annoying. Anyhow, I'm so distracted. I apologize. But yes, like you said, Brosmer's not it. JJ, as in J, Jets, as in our most valuable asset, Justin Jefferson, hopefully will remain patient as we try to evolve into a potentially high-powered offensive, albeit when everyone is healthy, which I fear isn't as often as we'd like. And yes, touchdown Steelers. However, my biggest concern is if Brian Flores decides to stick it out with the Vikings, hopefully with one of the most suffocating defensive units in the NFL, or if his head is ultimately turned by the promise of another new head coaching job and fatter wallet. It all remains to be seen. Sorry, Joey, that I've been mostly AWOL this season. Yeah, man, I missed you. I did, but hopefully you'll be around more next season. And I understand. I understand. As long as you're here when you're able to, I appreciate you so much, Mike. I mean that with full sincerity. Sorry, Joey, that I've been mostly AWOL this season. Since I haven't been able to watch the games live as much as in previous seasons, I feel that I don't have as much business commenting on the results or proceedings of said games. That said, skol to you and to the rest of the Purple Mafia brethren, or Purple brethren and sisterin of Purple Mafia. Joey, you still have one of the top Minnesota Vikings podcasts out there. Already looking forward to next season and hopefully being more active on here again. Skol. Yep, and I hope so too. I hope you'll be more active, and I appreciate you very much, Mike. I really do. And to say it's one of the best Viking podcasts, it means a lot. It really does. And I'll be back. Yep. I'll be back as my ups and downs that I've had on this show for so many years. I'll be back. Yep. I mean, I just can't. It's like a part of me. I can't feel myself walking away. It'd be tough. It'd be really tough to walk away from Purple Mafia. Can't do it, I'd love to be sitting here talking about a world championship, a Super Bowl the Vikings just won. It'd be amazing. That would be the true payoff for the whole thing. It truly would, and I pray to God that day comes. It'll be a payoff for you as well, Mike, and the Purple Mafia faithful. Dave Hickey out of Iowa says, Mike Dale, it was nice to see C.J. score in possibly his last game and Harry the Hitman. I totally agree with you. He's one of my favorites all time. Could be the end of an era for a legendary player. Pardon me. Yes. I didn't even like the comments. What's wrong with me? I apologize, guys. I didn't like them. I loved the comments. And that was awesome. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Mike. That was great. And Dave Hickey, awesome to have you on there as well. Twitter account or X or whatever it's called. What the heck is going on? Oh, yep, there he is. Dave Martin, Mad Martin, the legendary Dave Martin coming out of Northern Scotland. Okay. See, like Mike Dale, the way he writes, it's a symphony. That's why I just love it. I love I love his style. It's literally like a symphony. What the heck? I keep clicking all these stupid buttons here. Come on now. I'm losing my mind. I apologize. I'm pushing the wrong buttons. I don't know what's going on. Okay, that was, what's his name? Ozzy Osbourne. Okay, who we did lose this past year. And I hope everybody did have a happy New Year, by the way. I didn't even mention that. Tells you how I feel about the New Year versus Christmas. But yes, I hope you had a happy New Year. And here we are in 2026. And, well, the Vikings are 1-0 in 2026. So, yeah. Anyhow, if that means anything, which I'm not sure it does, I did put out a poll. Let's see if there was much of a response to it. Not really, but there was some. There was, like, meaning in the amount of votes. The votes were pretty low. I don't know. This Twitter account does not reach anyone hardly. It's weird. But those of you that it does reach, though, you guys are the greatest of all time. It's just weird. Yeah, something weird happened to this account years ago. It's been shadow banned forever. And I think it's hurt the podcast pretty badly, actually. It's been shadow banned. I don't know what the problem is, other than I just don't know. Maybe I'm just not people's favorite guy. I don't know. But the poll was, what should the Minnesota Vikings New Year's resolution be? Find a legit quarterback 2, or a QB2, start over at QB1, sign/draft a center, or draft a running back. Now, notice everything was offense, because boy, do we need help there. And just kind of get the feeling of the fan base, what we think about McCarthy, or a legit backup behind him. And I'm going to continue to toot the horn for Jacoby Brissett to be the Minnesota Vikings #2 next year. Make my wish come true, please, Minnesota. Quathy or whoever is the GM of the Vikings. So the winner of this game right here, flashing on the screen, will be hosting the Houston Texans next week. Will Pittsburgh somehow survive this, or will Baltimore end up winning? So we'll see. Mad Martin says, you could argue a case to say they're all legitimate needs. And I agree. Yes, they are. So as for the poll results right now, there's several days left if you want to vote. Draft a running back is leading the way with 37.5, which surprised me a little bit. Draft a center or find a legit number 2, both tied at 25%. Start over at QB1, 12.5%. All right, so let's get to the remaining posts here, if humanly possible. Come on. Okay, Mad Martin with looks like 5, 6 of them. Okay, good. Struggling to beat the backup Packers is rather depressing. I agree, Mad Martin. it is rather depressing, yes. Great achievement considering the QB play this season, that would be Mr. J. Jets. Finally getting to the 1,000 yardage mark. And I was like, and there is your 6th straight 1,000 yard season for J. Jets. Mad Martin was saying, yeah, it reminded me of Moss in Oakland with Trent Walters, especially with Brosmer. And then, Mad Martin says, ain't it the truth? Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. Hope is all we've got, according to Mad Martin. What was I saying? I was saying it's sad, no doubt, when we couldn't even beat the backup Packers for a while there. It's sad, no doubt. The wins definitely have been inflated, to say the least. Hopefully McCarthy is ready for real games next season. And Dave Martin says, hope's all we got. Yep. Highlight of a piss poor game when I was saying a salute to old Hamon Ryan, number 30, with a touchdown, and said highlight of a piss poor game. Yeah, it was a really ugly football game, wasn't it? Final tweet of the regular season for Mad Martin. Hopefully he'll be available for some tweets in the playoffs. That'd be nice. Things tend to get a lot quieter, unfortunately, in the postseason, but we'll see. Sometimes the numbers are still pretty good. It's just that people don't interact as much. But I'm gonna hope and pray. I'm gonna put out posts for Wild Card Weekend and all that for people to respond to comment. It'll be wide open for you. Dave Martin says, yet more questions and answers from this game. Questions than answers from this game. It's clear they're going to have to find a top-end backup quarterback. Yep. And Brissett might not be a top-end backup quarterback, but I think he's pretty good. Like the Cardinals were still losing football games, but he was putting up good numbers, and the Cardinals just are generally not a good team. I think Brissett's got something there. That's who I'd like to have, but we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. I should even type in 2026. God darn it. It's not typing anything I want here. And yes, we can go much deeper. Yeah, free agent QBs. Boy, I knew what I wanted to do there, didn't it? Daniel Jones, Russell Wilson, Sam Darnold's not a free agent. That's not right. Sam Darnold is not a free agent. He just signed a huge contract. Are they crazy? Yeah, Daniel Jones, $14 million. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. Well, Daniel Jones would be on my list. Unfortunately, coming back from an Achilles tear, though. Flacco is about to be 41. He made four and change this year. Mariota made 11. Yuck. I'm not even thinking about it. Zach Wilson, that's the other one I would consider. Tyrod Taylor's almost 37. Where Zach Wilson will be closer to 27. Case Keenum is on the Bears. He's 38 already. Carson Wentz, it's, I don't know. You know what I mean? Carson Wentz, maybe. No. Maybe, but no. Brett Ripien, why are they showing him as a Viking? He wasn't a Viking. Jake Browning, well, he'd be making about 30. Or he'd be about 30, and making about $1 million. Sam Howell, no. Tommy DeVito, no, pass on that guy. Where is Jacoby Brissett? He's not even a free agent, is he? What a son of a gun. He's probably not even a free agent. That drives me nuts. So we'd have to would you have to trade for Jacoby Brissett? Oh boy, that's annoying. But, well, out of that list, it's definitely Zach Wilson for me. But, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if he's a legit backup at this point. Damn it, wrong guy. Come on, this thing is just acting annoying. I hate these computers sometimes. Contract. What is this contract? Oh, man. Yeah, so he's on a 2-year deal, signed in 2025, so it would run through 26. Doggone it. Well, maybe we can trade for him, though. We probably could. What would he be making? About 6.25. if things are kind of averaged out. So 2 years, 12.5 with the Cardinals. $8 million guarantee that runs through 26. Surveyed as a key backup with the potential for more playing time or trade consideration. Yes, trade for Jacoby Brissett if you can. Otherwise, Zach Wilson. Those would be the two guys that I would consider to be the backup quarterback for Mr. McCarthy. Yes, Zach Wilson, yes. He's been through some of that quarterback whisper school, and I'd like to give him a shot. Otherwise, Brissett's a nice player. I've always liked him, and that's who I would target if I could. To see what Arizona would be willing to give up for Jacoby, or would be willing to give up Jacoby Brissett for. So that's who I go with. With that said, that should wrap things up here. Other than if you could put a nice 5-star rating for Purple Mafia on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any other app that allows you to do so, but preferably Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Please share, tweet, retweet, blah, 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 the show, word of mouth to your friends and family members. It'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. Mark Carlson's always been awesome about it, saying, hey, check this out, and I really appreciate you. Gerald String, I miss you. I haven't heard from you in a little while. Hope everything's going okay there. I think you still I'm guessing the Denver Broncos are your second favorite team still. I'm definitely not mad at you. Wishing you the best there. There's Adam Thielen, by the way, on the Steelers. Yep. Wishing you the best there. I mean, I don't know, unless you're like, screw this, I can't cheer for Sean Payton. That's pretty much where I stand with the Broncos. But, hey, if that's your second favorite team, it's your second favorite team. I mean, with me, it's been the Patriots forever, so at least for the last 25 years or so. So, other than that, it's the Niners. The Niners and the Patriots pretty much, like AFC, NFC, teams that you like to cheer for in the playoffs if the Vikings aren't there and such. With all that said, thank you again so much for listening. I hope everyone had a happy new year, and we'll be back next week for that Super Wild Card round, and let's go. Go Patriots, go Bills, go teams like that. Go Bears, yes.